Hi, my name is Josh Bashinsky, and welcome to How to Hack Your Brain Through Meditation. I'll be your host for today. I'm a PhD ABD in philosophy, psychology, and neuroscience. I have a system of meditation I've been developing for over 30 years to help you hack your brain to get better physicality and better emotionality and better soulfulness. We've been talking about enlightenment and the good, and I'd like to continue our discussion of enlightenment and have a guided meditation today. So let's get started. Here we are back looking at my manuscript called Tao Agathos. Tao, which stands for the method, the path, or the truth, which is a Mandarin word, a Chinese word, and Agathos, which is an ancient Greek word, which means the good, the highest concept of value, the highest concept of importance. And this concept is, as it turns out, key to finding enlightenment. And I've found that using both Western techniques and Eastern techniques, I've been able to better understand what the East maybe was trying to tell me, and probably better understand what the West was trying to tell me, and put a system of meditation together with a whole bunch of neuroscience and psychology tricks that I learned along the way in my academic studies. So let's get right back into it. And I want to remember and just recall, let's just take a few breaths first off, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Try and relax every bit of you that is possible. For this guided meditation, it's better if you are alone and in an environment where you can relax, or at least you can zoom in on your phone. You can kind of focus on your phone and ignore everything else that's around you. And breathe in again and relax. That's good. So every few moments, I want you to remember to breathe. Don't worry about breathing. You'll breathe normally, but I want you to remember to relax and focus in on what's being talked about. Because both the contemplation, which is more of a Western meditation technique, the contemplation of the right concepts will unlock the right emotionality, and the correct emotionality will unlock the right concepts. And so it's like a key and a lock, and that's such an amazing secret that not a lot of people know. A lot of people just try to do Eastern meditation just like they're resting, and they close their eyes. They think something magical is going to happen. Sadly, I've learned from years and years and years of trying it, that's not the way it works. You need to be guided in the conceptual understanding as well. And so right now we're listening to theta wave music that's going to help put you down deeper into a trance state, which is a good thing because that's where relaxation comes from. And you can help this trance state, trance, you can help this trance state. Now, obviously, do not be operating any equipment right now. You shouldn't be driving at the moment. You need to really be able to focus on what's going on right now. And so if you're driving or something right now, you probably should stop listening because I don't want you to get into an accident. But if you think you can multitask and do two things at once, that's okay. I'd rather you listen than not listen, if driving is the only time you have to listen to the podcast. Or to my YouTube show. It's also a YouTube show at bit.ly/Bach Meditation, or you can catch this on, catch my podcast, Hack Your Brain with Meditation, on many different podcast platforms. I do not then, if you're driving, if you're operating a motor vehicle or a plane, a helicopter, whatever it is, please do not do what I'm about to ask. But if you can meditate and you can do those things, I want you to reach out to each wall with your mind, with your soul. And I want the room to get smaller and your soul to get bigger. I want you to reach out to each wall and feel that your soul is expanding and the room is getting smaller and your soul is expanding past the room. This should feel profound, and after a while of doing it, and if you're getting rested enough and you're breathing, you should really feel like the room is getting bigger, your soul is getting bigger, the room is getting smaller. And this is bringing you down into a deeper trance state. That's good. Now the concepts are going to work better on you. Now, hopefully, you're not as anxious, you're not as nervous. And you're just going to keep going deeper and sinking into your chair, into this trance state as we talk about the concepts. And the concepts we're going to contemplate today are Western meditation. That's going to be like a key to unlock the Eastern meditation, these trance states, and vice versa, is more about this concept of the good. And this concept of the good is such an important concept. It is the very concept of importance. ramifications. It's the idea of optimality. It's the idea of the ideal. It's the idea of the perfect in terms of positivity. It's the idea of whatever is fully positive. It is the positive concept. And remember, it doesn't have a roof. Maximum value is the good, and the good equals max value. So conceptually, it's very, very good. Conceptually, it's the essence of what goodness is. Emotionally, it has also a component as well. And you can figure that out when you ask the question, but what makes this concept of the good, and it's just an idea, it's just a concept. Just like 2 + 2 = 4. But then you can ask, well, what makes the idea of the good so good? And this is the reason why. And you must remember this. This is the key to feeling the good. This is the key to achieving the good, both for your own life and socio-politically, for everyone's life. And it's this. The good is the good because, and insofar as, it feels good for each. The good is the good because it feels good. The good is the good because, and only insofar as, it feels good for each. What is or feels goodest for everyone, goodest for everyone, for all time, or all the related time, or the time that's related to the thing you're thinking about. The good is the most positive feeling being. It is the most idyllic feeling of being. It's the feeling of what you like, of liking something, whatever feels positive. In that sense, the good is what we seek. The good has always been what we sought or what we seek, because we seek what we like. And the concept of likingness and that feeling of likingness is the good. It's the things that we call good. It's the things that we value. And that's how you know what the good is. And if it's good for everyone else involved too, that's even gooder. That's even better. Remember the value concept. The good is always valued to a degree. The good is a scale. Some things, but it's a scale with no roof. The good has no top to it. It can always get better. It's always seeking better. It's always seeking gooder. It is the pinnacle of the ideal. It is the ultimate of the idyllic. It is the capital O optimal. It is the most positive. It is the superior. Thus, the more gooder, the more gooder. It's cyclical. It's a circle. The more good, and it just keeps, that yin-yang just keeps turning and turning and turning until it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Maximal good value is most of all. Superior good value is superior. So that's how the superior good is superior. It is of maximal value. It is superior value. It is the most important. It is the most valuable. It's the concept of it, and it's the feeling of it, and how we achieve it in our lives, and how we achieve it in everybody's lives is that everybody feels and experiences some part of this good, as much as we can make it good as we can make it for as many people for as long as possible. So let's talk about feeling or experiencing the good. So again, I want you to consider it. I want you to contemplate it. I want you to reach out again with your soul, with your inner emotions, your inner touch to the walls, and the walls are going to sink in and you're going to get bigger. You're going to get deeper into your seat, into that trance state. Again, we're using the Eastern techniques and Western simultaneously to maximally hack our brain. And I want you to contemplate with your cognitive capability, and I want you to appraise and feel with your limbic system. And if you don't know how to do that yet, just keep practicing and it will come to you. If you're having any negative thoughts or emotions, you can use shred the clouds on them, right? You can imagine that negative feeling. You can imagine how it's spinning and how it's moving around. And then like a piece of dough, you can just take your imaginary hands and shred it and stop it and turn it and and slice it and shred it again and again against the direction it wants to move until you've totally eradicated it and pulverized it, essentially shredded it into dust. And then it's gone. At least in some part it's gone. And the more you practice that brilliant Buddhist secret that some brilliant Buddhist monk noticed in the last 5,000 years, the more you can get control of those negative emotions, you can get deeper that trance state. And for those of you who are not feeling any negative emotions, you're feeling really good, you're starting to feel, maybe appreciate some of what I'm talking about, we're gonna increase that emotion right now. So consider the good, feel the good. Feel what it means to be liked when you like something, that feeling of liking something, that feeling of positivity. Consider something that's maximally idyllic, the most idyllic, maximally positive. The good feels good. That's how you know it's the good, in what it seeks and how it feels. Don't worry right now about various instances where other people have said things are bad that feel good. Ignore that for now. I'll get to that. I will fully explain that. There will be no surprises. There will be no gotcha moments later on coming. The beautiful thing about the good is that it's relative to each, for the duration. And evolution has seen to it that anything we do with people or in amongst people for a long time, for the duration, evolution has seen to it that we're pretty socially cohesive. There are edge cases, of course. I will talk about how we handle those. So don't worry about those. Just right now, invest in the pure product of likingness, of goodness, of positivity, of that positive feeling, of that positive emotion. The good, it feels good in what it seeks and how it feels. In fact, it is the goodest. It's the positive feeling you get when we see a better plan. We had a plan for the night, and someone says, better yet, let's do this. And they provide a better plan that satisfies more good of more people. But that's just the practical factuality of the effect of seeking the good. Right now, we're talking about just the feeling you get when they say, better yet, let's do this. And you go, oh, you have a bit of excitement. You go, oh, what, something's better? Oh. And you feel a bit of excitement. You praise something better about to happen. Both your neocortex and your limbic system both are harmonized. That's what we want. We want the neocortex and the limbic system to be harmonized. Unlike people who have an anxiety disorder, where their neocortex says, everything's fine, relax, limbic system. But the limbic system says, danger, danger. Danger, Will Robinson. There's something wrong. And the neocortex is like, no, there's nothing wrong. I'm looking around. We're perfectly safe. That is the disconnect that we do not want. And I know you know it. I know it. It works the same for depression and for any other emotionality that is incommensurate with the effect of what's going on. Or it could be the other way around. Your neocortex could be saying there's some trouble and the emotionality is not responding in an advantageous way to the neocortex perceiving some problems. But when you understand the good, you realize there is no such thing as problems. I'll get to that. Problems are a mistaken concept. There are only challenges. And I hate that it's sales psychology that has noticed this recently, taking that from Freud, who took that from Nietzsche, and has popularized that. So you might think I'm trying to sell you something. I'm not. I've not asked anybody for any money. This is totally free. I do this on my free time. But I just hate that it's sales psychology that figured it out, because I don't like a lot of those guys. Those used car salesmen. Some of those guys are pretty nasty, but that's okay. We still seek the good. It is optimistic. We seek the good. They can be made good too. But they have one truth, and the truth is that there's no such thing as a problem. There's only challenges. There's only variations to achieving the good, and that's what we seek. So anyway, let's get back to feeling that tickling excitement you might feel when we plan better still. Better yet, feel a little bit of excitement. Or, I know, better still, let's do this. Or better yet, that optimism you felt right there, just a little bit of it, that little excitement, that is the good. Blow up that feeling. Settle into that feeling. Trance into that feeling. tune your dial into that feeling. Just tune your dial. Seek with your emotions, with your shredding the clouds, with your Buddhist sense. Seek until you feel that emotion and that excitement. When you learn about the good and you learn about Buddhist techniques, you will no longer need any alcohol. You'll no longer need any drugs. We can just dial into the good anytime we want when we practiced enough. We can dial into positivity. We can dial into feeling of like, to feeling of excitement, to feeling of goodness, to pleasure. It even calms us down. And so it is quite remarkable. The neuroscience of it is still catching up, and they're still quite amazed as when they plug people in the fMRIs what they can do with their brains. And this is even more powerful. No one's even tested this stuff. We're on the very frontier right now of what's been tested and what we're doing. No one is, to my knowledge, no one has taken the West and the East and put them together. They keep scanning the East. They keep scanning Buddhist monks, but they're not scanning the other side as far as I know. So better yet, better still, that emotion that we can dial into. This is the good. Conceptually, emotionally, is the bestest, goodest good. Think of it. Feel it. Consider what I just said. Conceptually and emotionally, it is the bestest, goodest, idealist good. What's totally optimal. What's fully idyllic for your whole brain, for everyone's whole brain. I want you to feel it again. I want you to perceive it. I want you to think of it. I want you to appraise it. The ideal, bestest, goodest good. What's totally optimal. What's fully idyllic. Everyone maximally happy would be the result. Nobody hurting would be the result. Because our actions are seeking the most good, the maximal good, and our techniques are providing the most good and seeking the most good. So it's the most positive feeling of excitement, joy, and fulfillment. Better now, better yet, better still. Okay, so I want you to feel that for a bit. I want you to breathe. And breathe in again. Good. And in 3 seconds, we're going to wake up. In 3 seconds, we're going to become fully aware. We're going to appraise awesomeness. In 3 seconds, 3, we'll be fully aware. 2, we'll be fully awake. 1. So appraise awesomeness. Feel awesome. Think about what awesomeness is. Great. So you should feel a little rested, a little relaxed, hopefully a little refreshed. You've done a little bit of hacking your brain. And next time, we're going to take on the negation of the good. What failure is, because now that we know what success is, we'll see what failure is, and we'll move on from there. So good luck in your activities this week. Practice this again if at all possible, and we'll see you next time.